invite Henrik Franklin from the Nordic Development Fund to deliver also some opening remarks. Henrik is the Director for Portfolio Origination and Management Department at the Nordic Development Fund, or NDF, and has over 25 years of experience in international development in Africa, Asia, and Latin America, focusing on strategic and operational management, portfolio management, quality assurance, and change management. The Nordic Development Fund is the current co-chair of the CRPP partnership group. So over to you, Henrik.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues and friends. The Nordic Development Fund is very pleased to join this Community Resilience Partnership Program CRPP Partnership Forum here in Bangkok. And special thanks to the Asian Development Bank and the wider CRPP team for organizing this event. And I'm very glad to see such high interest in this trailblazing initiative, which is bringing us together and which is gaining more and more momentum, and especially to see such a wide diversity of stakeholders ranging from community organizations and governments across Asia, civil society organizations, research institutions, development partners, and others. The Nordic Development Fund is the Nordic international finance institution owned by the 5 Nordic countries, so Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, and Sweden. And we provide climate finance to lower income countries in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. And poverty reduction is a fundamental principle of all Nordic development assistance, and all of NDF's financing focuses on the nexus between climate and development in lower income countries. So CRPP is therefore in the sweet spot of our financing, and we were very happy back in 2020 to approve a grant of 6 million to kick off the initiative. And we have then been very happy to join forces with, of course, the Asian Development Bank, but also the government of the United Kingdom, the French Development Agency, the Huairoi Commission, the International Institute for Environment and Development, and other like-minded partners. And it was, of course, not a very easy moment to kick off the initiative in 2020 during the pandemic, but I think the team has done a very good job, and the fact that we're gathered here today, I think, is a very positive sign. And NDF's gender policy states that all NDF-supported activities must be gender responsive. This means that the needs, priorities, power structures, status, relationships between genders are considered and gender gaps systematically addressed. And gender equality is at the core of all Nordic development agendas, and in fact 4 of the Nordic countries were in the top 4 countries in the Global Gender Index Gap in 2020. So lessons and insights from our part of the world can surely provide some inspiration to the work that you're doing, but also very important, I think, all the good practices and work that you're doing can surely serve as inspiration for other parts of the world. And gender equality is a fundamental aspect of building adaptive capacity and increasing resilience. We know that climate change leads to a larger number and also severity of natural disasters, and women and men experience these disasters differently, and understanding these differences is critical for disaster risk management and for building lasting resilience. We also know that in Asia, women represent 2/3 of the poor, and women in many countries do not control the key assets, such as family home, property, and decision-making rights on the use of income, further limiting opportunities to break the poverty cycle. And people experiencing poverty are also disproportionately affected, not only because they often are more exposed and, of course, more vulnerable to climate-related shocks, but also because they have fewer resources and less support from family, community, the financial system, and even social safety nets to be able to prevent, cope, and adapt. And as we know, climate change will surely worsen these shocks and stresses and contribute to decoupling economic growth and poverty reduction, thereby making it even harder to eradicate poverty in a sustainable manner. And building resilience is also about strengthening early warning systems, but for this, of course, you need to have accurate and good climate and weather data, and the NDF is very pleased to be co-chair together with the World Meteorological Organization on a new initiative called the Systematic Observations Financing Facility, which aims to reduce the gap in basic weather and climate data, especially from lower income countries, including SIDS. And the best decisions, solutions, And ideas emerge when we bring together different perspectives across society, across genders, generations, but also both from public and private sector. And also very importantly, we know that community-driven initiatives and gender-responsive approaches are more successful. So I hope that the next 2 days will be very fruitful, and we will be able to discuss different experiences and bring concrete solutions that benefit people living in poverty and are particularly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. Also looking at different ways to strengthen their livelihoods, but also addressing the underlying inequality issues that drive their vulnerability. So again, on behalf of the Nordic Development Fund, I'm very happy to be here, and best wishes for fruitful deliberations. Thank you.